So like growing up, I didn't have a father figure in my life. You had your father in your life, or Kim had his father in his life. So like, I didn't really have a man to kind of look up to and be like, that's who I want to be like, other than my grandfather. Like I didn't have a direct person to actually wake up every day and see like I need to be like that. So what do you think in your mind is a definition of a mentor?
To me, that's a very good question. A mentor to me is somebody that can, whether it's through their life experiences or just from what they learn, they can see where you're at, and whether it's pushing you or encouraging you, they see where you at, accept it, but at the same time, turn it over and tell you you can do better. You know, I say accept it primarily because one of the things that like kind of toes the line between tough love and like not really caring about anybody is the accepting factor. Like I see where you at, I see, you know what I'm saying. Say for instance, like my cousin at one point, he was in a life to where, he was, gangbang. You know what I'm saying? But we had to accept where he was at for him to really understand that we were trying to come at him in a positive regard about turning his life over.
Right.
Right. And it's not accepting what he's doing, and we're not gonna make no excuse for that.
Right.
But to a certain extent, we wanted to tell him the benefits of what would happen if he was to remove himself from the atmosphere, or if he was to expose himself to other lifestyles. So a mentor to me is somebody that can see where you're at, accept you for who you are as a person, point out your positive attributes, because there's a level of encouragement that you have to have in being a mentor too. You can't be just tough all the time and expect somebody to hear you. You know what I'm saying? You have to highlight what they're doing well already, even if honestly it's not much. So there's a positivity piece to it, but at the same time they can push you and steer you into a positive lane, direction, or somewhere that can take you away from the negative parts of your life. You don't have to be specifically about that, but it's somebody that can just take you and realize that you're in a raw form. You're still learning, but literally direct your mind and all your attention towards something positive. And it's a very broad answer, but I feel like it covers a lot.
I would have to agree. I think the understanding piece, like being able to understand the youth and understand why that person is, why they are who they are, and being able to, like you said, bend them back into the right direction. Because a lot of times there's a thin line between a lot of negative that young kids are doing and the positive they could be doing. There's usually a thin line between them. It's just that they're putting their energy into things of low value. But a lot of times it's because they don't know how to put into positive things. Or if they do, it's not a cool thing to do or whatever. So a great mentor is somebody who's able to see the positive in that, whatever they're doing, and say, okay, look, if you do it this way instead, it'll be a better outcome. A great mentor is somebody who can a great mentor is somebody who can understand why a person is the way they are and able to use that and bend it into positive energy, if you will.
So how in depth does the whole idea of the each one reach one go? Like as far as, let's say you've been mentoring me for so many years, and I come to you on a humble tip and say, yo, I've been having so many issues finding a job. Could you help me kind of secure that employment? Like how far does that each one reach one go as far as mentorship?
Well, I think everything that we kind of talked about is centered on a line. There's a line between doing the wrong thing and the right thing. And there's a line between being very encouraging and a mentor and holding somebody's hand. At some point, we experienced with our parents that time where, for instance, we got lost in the grocery store and we got to find a way back to them. And it's kind of like parallel to life in a way, as with you and your mentor, they can tell you and give you the tools necessary to do positive things. But if you're not internally telling yourself that what they're saying, or you're convinced that what they're saying is right or true, you're not going to do it. And if you you need somebody to hold your hand every step of the way to make that change or to conform, you know, to a positive person or doing something positive, then you really aren't taking away the purpose of mentorship, you know. So I think that's like the biggest divide. Somebody that seeks out mentorship and actually like takes something away from it, or somebody that seeks out mentorship and needs that mentor there, like with everything, you know. Now, mind you, like, you know, some people need that. Some people need that attention just based off of, like we talked about before, what they've been exposed to, what they've not been exposed to. But to a certain extent, you got to be sold yourself to take something away from that mentorship and do something with it, and convert your mind. So, just based off of your question, it is a divide, or there is a certain level of mentorship or guidance that you have to kind of pull back from, just to kind of let somebody, you know, experience what they want to, or experience what they're going to experience, but you know, you hope that they're taking what you're giving out. So,
it's hard to answer that. It's kind of based on the relationship between the mentor and the mentee, and how far that goes. Yeah, it's kind of hard to answer that. So I mean, cause like you said, some situations might require the mentor to actually grab the hand and like pull them. Say, come on, let's do this. There's some situations based on the relationship is more hands off, and you know, so it's hard for me to answer that question.
Alright, so I can recall growing up, my mom used to put me in like so many different like programs, like STEM programs, science programs, aviation camps. I know they had like engineering camps. I thought the aviation camp was so boring though. Like growing up, like I think it was the Tuskegee Airmen type thing,
Okay.
and I was in it, and so I just thought it was so boring. Like they took us to NASA, not NASA, but Hartsfield Jackson. They let us get on these little flight simulators and everything like that. It was all dope. Now I'm looking back on it, but like during that time, I didn't appreciate it for what it was. So do you think that a lot of the people that are growing up now that are being put into these different programs are going to kind of have that regret looking back when they grow older, like, dang, I wish I would have taken more advantage or taken more of a liking to those programs than I did?
No. I think the good thing about you going to that camp is that, I mean, is that something that you would think about doing now? All right, so at least it exposed you to something, and now you have, okay, at least I did it, I know what it's like, I don't want to do it. So at least it shows you what you don't want to do. So I think the positive in exposing your kids to a lot of different things is that they can see what they don't want to do.